the course syllabus, and the course syllabus is exactly the same as the paper that I passed out to you. So that means sometimes when you're away from your binder and you want to know something, you can find it if you're online, and you can check here. Okay? So this one tells you, this second page tells you about the student learning outcomes. So your what objectives, what we want you to do to be able to do when you're learning from this course. You want to be able to understand oral directions and follow directions. Most of the time when you're working or you're doing a lot of things, most of the time you listen, less time speaking. Everyone spends more time listening, and we need to practice how to listen and follow and show that we understand. Especially at work, if your boss tells you what to do, you can't just go. You have to follow those directions by doing something, right? So we'll do some exercises where those things that you do will be to respond orally, or sometimes it means to write, or sometimes it'll mean to jump around and turn around in a circle. You know, different kinds of actions to show that you understand what directions are being given to you. All right. You also want to listen to some lectures and demonstrate that you understand the topic. What are they talking about? What are people talking about? And do you know some main ideas or maybe some details? Did you understand some of those? Sometimes when you listen to a conversation, you can predict what's going to happen next, or you can predict what somebody's going to say next. Dictation is where I say and you write. Right? I say a phrase and then you write it down. Discriminate aspects of the American English sound system. So when we're talking about pronunciation, I will ask you, well, how many syllables does the word have? Which syllable is stressed? Are these two words, do they have the same syllable stress pattern or different? So you'll be able to learn to hear and discriminate, be able to tell the difference between words and find out if they're similar or different. For speaking outcomes, we want you to make sure to pronounce clearly the most important words, high frequency words. That means words that we use frequently, that we use very often. And if you can pronounce these words and phrases and sentences that in a way, we're not asking you to be perfect, but we're asking you to try to say it in a way that most people who are patient can understand you and respond to you and have a conversation. Not only do you want to listen and understand when other people say these words, but you want to build your ability to use these words in your own conversation and in discussion. So we have something we call passive knowledge. That means you understand it. And then we have something called active knowledge, where you actually apply what you learn and you use it. And we want you to participate. So today I'm speaking a lot, but next time in the future you will have more chance to participate more actively and in conversation, in some guided conversation with your classmates and some discussion topics. We will also have some role plays where I'll tell you to act a certain role and your partner to act a certain role, and then you'll have your dialogue. Asking and answering questions is an important part of how you learn information. If you don't understand something, then it's a good idea to ask questions. So we'll practice how to ask questions appropriately with good grammar, good intonation, so you'll get what you want, right? Now we're going to have some quizzes and tests in the class. And some of them, I'll have a lot of quizzes that are available on the website in Angel. And I believe that practice is really good, so I want you to have a lot of opportunity to do practice quizzes in Angel before we have real tests. There will be some quizzes that we'll do, and we correct them right away in class, so if you're absent, you don't get any credit for that. They're just short, no makeups for those. We will have a chapter test after every chapter that we study in the book, and then we'll have a final exam. Now we have the date for the grades, for the final exam and the course grades. So usually I will give out grades of A, B, and credit or no credit. I think nowadays they call it pass and no pass. It's the same thing as credit and no credit. I'd like everybody to arrive in the classroom on time and ready to learn. As I mentioned earlier, we have students from many different places, different backgrounds, different ages, different sizes. And so if we can all help each other out, because we want to improve our English speaking and listening, everybody helps each other, then it'll be great. Okay? Sound good? Okay. The last page is gives you some places where you might find very useful. Some things that I took out of the catalog. All of this information is completely, you can find it completely in the course catalog. But I just took out a few about the attendance policy. That means if you have too many unexcused absences, you know, you can be dropped. Cell phone, everybody has a cell phone. Just make sure when you come to class you mute it, turn it off. Don't take any calls or do any texting during the class. You can do that at break time. Cheating policy. There's cheating on campus, off campus, in class, outside of class. I hope you don't do that, but here, this is the information that is from the college data, from the college catalog. Emergency, if we have an emergency, you'll hear, you know, beep, 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 and then we all have to get our stuff. We have to take everything with us, and we have to go together as a class out into the parking lot. You can't leave because I have to count your nose. I have to count noses. If I have 30 noses here, I have to have 30 noses out there. If I'm missing a nose, they think I've gotten rid of somebody, and I have to count everybody. Okay, so make sure you stick with me, and then we have to wait until they give us the all clear before we can go back inside. So usually they have a fire drill during the semester for everyone to practice. So far, we're lucky we haven't had any real emergencies recently, but we'll need to practice for that. When we're in the lab, there's no food or drink, especially over the keyboards. You can bring in water, but when you're in the lab, you have to put your water down below, so it's not likely to spill into the keyboard. Smoking is not allowed on campus. If you feel that you need to smoke, you have to go outside. That way you can't smoke out there in the grass and burn up and cause a fire. Other helpful resources are the Learning Center. We have, I'm going to tell you more about the Learning Center in just a minute. We have counseling. Anyway, these are some places where it's easy for you to get assistance, and there are a lot of places where students can get help. I want to take you now to the Resources tab, where I have under Useful Links. I put in, so far I've put in 2 links. The first link shows the Academic Skills Center, tutoring and labs. We used to call it the Learning Center or the LATC, and it's now called the Academic Skills Center. They've moved here and they've moved there. Tutoring last year, it was located in the student building over the bookstore, but now they moved back into the main building. So its entry is going to be through the room S2401, and all students can register for free tutoring. Not just math, but also ESL and English and every kind of subject you like. So that means every week, if you want, for half an hour, or if you go with a friend for an hour, you have an opportunity for somebody to help you with your homework, your listening, speaking, pronunciation, whatever class. If you're taking writing class, you can go there. And it doesn't cost you any money. It's free. It's for a non-credit course called ESL940LS. Next door in the same place that it's always been is room S2201. That's where we can have you sign up for half unit of credit. And we have lots of materials there for you to learn your reading and vocabulary, grammar, writing, pronunciation, speaking, all kinds of activities that you can do, and there's a teacher in that room. You can go and make your sign up for those classes now, but they don't open the doors for business until September 6th, which is after Labor Day. The hours of operation, they have already set the hours of operation for Monday through Thursday. And Friday, Saturday are TBA, that means to be arranged. They're still trying to find teachers and figure out the time that they're opening it. So this will change. And they're closed on Sunday. Okay, and these are the two faculty teachers, Cha Chan and Amelia Akers-Martin, and the phone number. And you can access this in the Resources tab. I'm also showing you the bookstore hours and the cafeteria hours. Some of you might have do any of you have class at 7? 7 o'clock after this one?
Yes.
Yeah, so some of you do, and you might want to grab something to eat. So besides the bookstore, I wanted to show you two places. Cafeteria, that's where you can get hot food and beverages, and KJ's Cafe. KJ's Cafe is inside the main building, and you can get snacks and coffee, but not hot meals. I mean, I don't know what kind of stuff they have exactly, but the hot meals you get in the cafeteria. So these are the hours that they're open Monday through Saturday. The bookstore is open now until through 8 o'clock. Now, the place that you're going to go to the most often is called Lessons. And right now I have just one folder inside. It's called Assignments. But I will add others. I will add quizzes, and I will add different folders for other things as we go on. Inside the Assignments folder, I put one for every month. And in September, I've already put up the homework that is due on Thursday. So we're going to be starting our college oral communication today. And then I also added some information. So you should bring your dictionary, books, and materials according to the course syllabus that we already went over. And you should study Chapter 1, the objectives and activities 1 through 5. Now, also, I'd like you to, because I want to make sure you know how to use the Angel Mail, I ask you to go to Communicate in the inbox, view your inbox, click on my message, read my message, and then reply to it. So by clicking this word reply at the top left, it will open up a mail message right here. And you can say something like, I've read your message, I've bought my books, I'm quitting this class because it's terrible, or I'm going to stay in this class because it sounds like fun, or whatever. Okay, just a short message to demonstrate that you know how to use the Angel Mail system. Okay, is that clear?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Am I speaking clearly enough for you?
Yes.
Okay, good.